there's one thing I've learned about female energy, it's that a woman's desire for sex is almost never just about sex. It is a barometer. It is the final, honest readout of a dozen other systems operating just beneath the surface. It is a symptom of a deeper, more powerful current. And all this time, you've been looking for the signs in all the wrong places. You've been scanning for a certain type of dress, a certain way of walking, a certain kind of flirty conversation. You've been chasing ghosts and stereotypes, looking for a simple, physical answer to a profoundly complex psychological question. You've been trying to judge the power of an electrical grid by looking at the shape of the light bulbs, instead of noticing which ones are glowing the brightest. To truly understand her desire, you must first stop looking at her body and start learning to read her energy. Let's smash the myth that keeps you perpetually confused, chasing women who are performing an act rather than embodying a reality. The myth is this: the woman with a high libido is the one who dresses provocatively, who flirts with every man in the room, who talks openly and crassly about sex. While that woman may exist, equating these outward performances with a deep, authentic wellspring of feminine sexual energy is a fool's errand. More often than not, this overt display is not a sign of a powerful libido. It is a sign of deep-seated insecurity and a desperate need for external validation. It is a performance designed to get attention from men, but it has very little to do with a genuine, internal state of desire. By chasing the stereotype, you set yourself up to be used as a validation tool, and you simultaneously walk right past the quietly confident woman across the room who's calm. Sensual energy could light up a city. The brutal truth is that a woman's libido, her desire, is not a costume she puts on. It is the final, downstream expression of her overall life force. It is inextricably linked to her stress levels, her physical health, her creative passions, and most importantly, her emotional connection to her own feminine core. The ancient Greeks had a word for this life force. Eros is not just the desire for sex. It is the desire for life. It is the passionate, creative, and sensual engagement with the world. A woman with high Eros is a woman who is deeply alive. A woman with a powerful libido is, first and foremost, a woman with a powerful life force. The sexual energy is a symptom of the Eros, not the source. Your task is not to become a hunter for sex, but to become a connoisseur of vitality. Think of it like an electrical current. You cannot see the electricity flowing through the wires of a house, but you can see its effects. You see the light bulbs glowing brightly. You see the motor spinning with power. You see the heater putting out warmth. A woman's Eros is this invisible current. You will not see it directly, but you can learn to see the evidence of its flow in everything she does. A woman with a high current illuminates every aspect of her life. A woman with a low current, often due to stress, unhappiness, or a disconnect from herself, moves through life with the lights dimmed. She is going through the motions. The signs you are looking for are not the wires, they are the glowing bulbs. You must train yourself to stop looking for the woman who is a walking, talking advertisement for sex, and start looking for the woman whose very being radiates a powerful, vital energy. The first and most powerful sign, the brightest glowing bulb, is not how she talks to you, but how she engages with the world when she thinks no one is watching. The brightest glowing bulb, the first and most honest sign of a woman with high Eros, is her level of uninhibited sensual engagement with the world itself. I am not talking about how she engages with you. I am talking about her relationship with her own five senses. A woman with a powerful life force is deeply embodied. She lives in the physical world, not just in her head. She doesn't just eat food, she savors it. She doesn't just listen to a piece of music, she feels it. She takes genuine, unself-conscious pleasure in simple physical sensations. The warmth of a coffee cup in her hands, the feeling of the sun on her skin, the texture of a cashmere sweater, the taste of a glass of wine. This is not a performance for you. It is a deep, personal, and authentic connection to the experience of being alive. This sensual nature is the very foundation of a healthy, powerful sexuality. The most common mistake men make is to completely miss this sign because they are looking for signals that are directed at them. You are looking for her to touch your arm, to laugh at your jokes, to compliment you. You are scanning for validation. So when you see her close her eyes for a moment in genuine pleasure while eating a piece of chocolate, you either don't register it or you misinterpret it as strange. You are looking for a sign that she wants you, when the far more important sign is that she deeply and unapologetically wants to experience life. A woman who can source her own pleasure from the world around her is a woman whose cup is already full. She is not coming to you out of a sense of lack or neediness. She is coming to you with an abundance of energy to share. That is the woman you want. Let's watch this play out on a simple coffee date. The low Eros woman arrives. Her energy feels contained, constricted. She might be beautiful, intelligent, and successful, but she seems disconnected from her immediate environment. She sips her coffee mechanically while scrolling on her phone or glancing around the room. The coffee is just caffeine fuel. The conversation is a sterile exchange of data points. I work in finance. I went to this university. I have one sibling. She is physically present, but her vital energy, her Eros, is dormant or directed elsewhere. She is a light bulb with a low current running through it. Now, Imagine a date with the High-Eros. She walks in, and she is immediately present in the space. She puts her phone away, out of sight. When her coffee arrives, she takes a moment to smell the aroma. She wraps her hands around the warm mug, and you can see her genuinely appreciate the sensation. When she takes the first sip, she might close her eyes for just a second, a flicker of authentic pleasure crossing her face. When she listens to you, she doesn't just hear your words. She watches your mouth, your eyes. Her gaze is intense and focused. She is not just in the room. She is absorbing the entire sensory reality of the moment. Her laugh isn't a polite titter. It's a full, uninhibited expression of joy. This total, embodied presence is the most powerful indicator of a vibrant inner life and a powerful, flowing energy. This flows directly into the second sign: playful, unself-conscious movement. A woman with high Eros is comfortable in her own skin. She is not at war with her body. Her movements are fluid and relaxed, not stiff, rigid, and controlled. If a song she loves comes on in the cafe, she might sway in her seat or tap her fingers on the table, not as a performance, but as a natural response to the music. When she tells a story, she uses her hands and her body with expansive, uninhibited gestures. This has nothing to do with being a professionally trained dancer or being overtly seductive. It is about a fundamental freedom from the self-conscious prison that traps so many people. The woman who is afraid to move, who is constantly worried about how she looks, is a woman whose life force is blocked. The woman who moves with a free, playful energy is a woman whose current is flowing strong. Your challenge is not to go out and look for these signs in women. That frame is still about what you can get. Your challenge is to recalibrate your own senses. For the next week, your task is simply to observe energy. When you are in a coffee shop, at the gym, in a meeting, notice who is truly present and who is distracted. Notice who savors their experience and who merely consumes. Notice who moves with fluidity and who is constricted. You are training yourself to read the invisible current of Eros in everyone, so that when you encounter that rare high voltage energy that you are looking for, you will recognize it instantly. You've learned to read the subtle energy of her physical presence. But the next sign is verbal, and it reveals itself not in safe, polite conversation, but in her comfort with emotional intensity. You have learned to read the subtle energy of her physical presence, the way she tastes her food, the way she moves in her own skin. But the next sign is verbal, and it reveals itself not in safe, polite conversation, but in her comfort with emotional intensity. This third and final sign is her comfort with charged conversation. A woman with a high degree of Eros is not afraid of the messy, unpredictable, and exciting nature of real human connection. This manifests in two ways: her ability to engage in playful, charged banter, and her willingness to explore deep, emotionally resonant topics. She is not a tourist in life, staying in the safe, sanitized, resort areas of conversation. She is an explorer, willing to venture into the jungle. The low Eros woman, the woman whose life force is blocked or dormant, craves safety and predictability in conversation. She avoids intensity. She shies away from playful teasing because she mistakes it for real conflict. She deflects deep or philosophical questions because they require a level of emotional vulnerability she is uncomfortable with. Her conversations will constantly circle back to safe, sterile topics. Her job, the weather, a TV show she is watching. She is building a verbal fortress to protect her fragile energy. The High-Eros woman sees conversation as a stimulating playground. She welcomes playful banter, seeing it as a game of witty tennis. She can joust back without getting offended because her self-worth isn't on the line. More importantly, she is not afraid to go deep. She can discuss her passions, her fears, her past, and her dreams with a level of honesty and self-awareness that is intoxicating. She sees emotional vulnerability not as a weakness, but as the price of admission for real connection. Imagine you ask a question that goes beyond the superficial. Something like, what's a belief you hold that most people would find strange? The low Eros woman will become visibly uncomfortable. She will give a short, non-committal answer and quickly try to change the subject back to something safe. Oh, I don't know. That's a tough one. So, did you see that new movie that just came out? She has sprinted away from the jungle and back to the safety of the resort. The High-Eros woman's eyes will light up. A challenging, interesting question is a gift to her. She will pause, think, and then engage with the question honestly, because she is genuinely interested in the landscape of her own mind. She might say, "That's a great question. I believe that," and proceed to share a piece of her authentic self. She doesn't fear intensity. She thrives on it. So let's tie this all together. These are not a checklist of seduction tactics. They are facets of a single, unified quality. A woman's passionate, unapologetic connection to life itself. You are not looking for signs of a high libido. You are looking for signs of high Eros. You are looking for the woman who is fully, sensually, and courageously alive. She is embodied. She savors the world through her senses. She is playful. She is free and unself-conscious in her own skin, and she is courageous. She is open to the emotional depth and intensity that real connection requires. This is the woman whose passion in life will translate into passion in a relationship. But here is the final, brutal truth. The secret is not just to find this woman. A high Eros woman will not and cannot sustain her fire in the presence of a weak masculine frame. Your neediness, your lack of purpose, your emotional react. A woman's passionate feminine energy can only truly flourish when it has a strong, stable, masculine container to feel safe in. Your purpose, your stability, your confidence, your own Eros, this is the container. If you are an empty cup, she will not fill it for you. Your neediness will drain her dry. The ultimate secret is not to just find the Eros woman. It is to become the high Eros man that she is also searching for. You must build your own fire, your own life force, your own passion for your mission. You must become the man who is so alive, so engaged with his own path, that your energy calls out to hers. You attract what you are. Stop looking for the woman who wants sex. Look for the woman who wants life. The SX will take care of itself.